Well, so, you know, I'm a historian, apart from anything else. I'm also somebody that's blessed with a certain level of intelligence. We asked a lot of questions. Up till today, those questions have not been answered about the educational certificates and so on and so forth of our president. And these were relevant, pertinent issues that were raised during the campaign. They were not answered at the time. They have not been answered up until today. Now, that does not mean to say that we're in the business of hacking into people's personal data or employing others to do so on our behalf to get involved in what is clearly criminal activity. What I would put to you, however, is this. If you're really interested in knowing who has been doing the hacking, who does these dirty games and plays these dirty tricks, perhaps you should ask the APC and ask them what role David Axelrod played, that is the advisor to President Obama, played, and what role his company played in assisting the APC to do precisely what we are now being accused of. That company and Axelrod was paid $10 million by the APC during the campaign. And they did a lot of things, including hacking, including international and local media, including advising them. So if you want to know about hacking, if you want to know about tapping into people's data illegally, if you want to know about foreign interference in our presidential election in 2015, ask David Axelrod, ask President Obama, and ask President Buhari and his campaign organization. Don't ask us. It's self-evident that all may not be well. And let me tell you this, part of what I've been doing for many years is also intelligence gathering and things like that. And I'm very familiar with the way in which intelligence agencies operate, both within Nigeria and outside. And I would be a fool not to bring that to bear in anything that I'm doing. I have access to a lot of information, both inside and outside Nigeria, and I bring it to bear, and I gather information. It's part of what I do. You'll be shocked about what I know about so many people. 5% of it comes out because the public can't handle most of it. But what I'll tell you is this. There's a lot more to President Buhari than meets the eye, including his health issues. And I think that we have a right to know. We had a right to know during the campaign. We have a right to know today. But again, they have not been forthright with us, and they refuse to come out cleanly and tell us what the situation is. So it's in that context that I'm aware. It's no big secret. It's nothing that it doesn't require hacking into people's emails and things to find that information out. All it requires is good old-fashioned intelligence work, and some of us happen to be very good at that. Now, you're asking me these questions. I'll put this to you. Far more important than this are questions about this scam that they've just conducted called Dachi. Far more important is this issue that General Danjuma, one of the most respected and one of the most enlightened and courageous generals, army generals we've ever had in this country, and ministers we've ever had in this country, the questions he raised yesterday about ethnic cleansing, about the military colluding with these people, and so on and so forth in our country today. Nigerians are being killed. So many things are going on. IMF has denounced this government. Amnesty International has denounced this government. Everybody, President Obama has denounced this government.
I'd like to pause you for a moment.
All right, thank you very much. What I was saying was that there are deep concerns about other issues in this country. For example, the fact that planes and boats carried the Dachi girls away from where they lived and brought them back, that is a concern. The fact that, according to reports in the UK, Hilux vehicles are being used to transport Fulani herdsmen to go and kill people in various parts of this country, that is a concern. The fact that General Danjuma has alleged ethnic cleansing and army collusion of the local populations in this country by Fulani herdsmen, that is a concern. The fact that AKPD, David Axelrod's company, was given $10 million at the time of the campaign by the APC at the time to undermine and spread disinformation about the President Goodluck Jonathan presidency, that is a concern. And of course, finally, a big concern is the fact that in Kanu, when the elections took place, according to INEC at the time, 2 million votes were cast. Every single one of them was cast without one exemption. And when the resident electoral commissioner of Kanu State wanted to make noise about it, somehow, somewhere, he got burnt alive together with his whole family in his apartment. These are the concerns and these are the issues of today. President Obasanjo has warned this government. General Danjuma has warned this government. General IBB, that is President Ibrahim Babangida, has warned this government. Bill Gates has warned this government. General Akinwumi has warned this government. Amnesty International has warned this government. Transparency International has warned this government. The IMF has warned this government. Every single person has warned this government that enough is enough. This is Nigeria. We must get it right. And the party of the day, for the atrocious way in which they've handled the affairs of this country, country over the last 3 years. Divided as a nation. We are divided on religious lines. We are divided on regional lines. We're divided on ethnic lines. And this is the doing of President Muhammadu Buhari. You asked me a question. How did I know? Well, everything that I've said on your program and to the Nigerian people that I said in 2015 about President Buhari, if he were given power, every single one of those things has happened. And I think you will agree with me because you interviewed me a number of times. And I'm saying that we need to focus on this to get this right, to keep Nigeria one, and to keep Nigerians safe. And this government should focus on that. But if you're talking about the issue of Sharia, as far as we are concerned, this is something that is self-evident, and the president, our president, has said many times before. As far back as 2001, he made it clear that his position was that Sharia should be spread into every part of the country. That raised questions. He also said it didn't matter. Christians should not worry if Muslims chop off their arms, because it is Muslims' arms that are being chopped off, not Christian ones. He also said that Muslims should vote for Muslims and ensure that their interests are protected in the country. He said all these things as far back as 2001. We raised those issues, and of course we still raise those issues about him and what we believe is his Islamization agenda and his Fulani agenda up until today. Now, it may not be popular to say this, but I will say it, and that's what most people are thinking, and it's left to him to dispel those rumors. So, it did not take Cambridge Analytica or anybody to let us and the world know that Buhari had health challenges. And us saying so at the time, that he may not make it because of those health challenges, was proved as fact, because not too long after that, after he came into power, he fell ill, and he spent more time, in fact, it's a record in our history, spending more time outside of the country as a consequence of health challenges than any other president in the history of our country. We didn't need to know that from Cambridge Analytica or anybody else. It's just a question of us doing our research, studying our opponent, and knowing what he was capable of or not. He spoke about this fear campaign about, Islamization and making non-Muslims go to Sharia courts and things like that. The fact of the matter is that we raised these issues because we knew that had it been possible for Buhari or those around him to affect that, that is precisely what they would have done. They couldn't do it because the Nigerian people rejected it and refused to allow them to do it. But when you look at what they did when they came to power, every single security agency in this country, including the armed forces, apart from the Navy, is headed by a Muslim. What do you want the rest of us to feel?